Hi everyone and welcome back to the Lewis Pickering Football Show. On today's episode I'm going to be reviewing game week 2 of the Championship, seeing what scores are predicted and what the scores actually were, and just going through what I thought of the games during the game week. So just like last week, I'm going to do 4 games at a time, tell you what I thought about the games, tell you what I predicted and what the score actually was. So we'll start with the Friday night game, Coventry City against Queen's Park Rangers at St Andrews. I know that's not Coventry's home where they want to be for the long-term future, but that is their home ground at the moment. But yeah, Coventry got their first 3 points of the season, 3-2 win, good character coming from behind. Carl McFadden, the captain, with a winner and a great 3-2 win. I predicted 1-1, a draw, so that late winner cost me a point. But yeah, good win for Coventry. And there's always a Coventry fan who comments, so well done to Coventry. Next let's move on to Forest Cardiff. I said you'd expect these two to be in and around the playoffs. And I predicted a 1-0 Cardiff win. It was actually 2-0 to Cardiff, so very unlucky there. I do get a point. Kiefer Moore with both goals finally didn't get a goal in his debut, got 2 goals in his second. Like I said in my preview, I think he'll score bagfuls of goals for them this season, and I expect Cardiff to definitely be in the playoffs this season. So 1 point for me there. Next up, Brentford's first home league game in their new stadium against lacklustre Huddersfield. I predicted a Brentford win 2-1. It was actually 3-0 to Brentford, so I get another point there. Looked like a routine home win. I thought it might be a bit closer, but no, Brentford scored 3. Looked like an easy game, and Huddersfield really look like they're going to struggle this season. And last of the 4 games is Blackburn Rovers v Wycombe Wanderers. I said in my preview this is the most routine home win you'll ever likely to see in the Championship. I couldn't see anything else but a Blackburn home win. I backed Blackburn 2-0 and I thought I was a bit cautious with just 2-0. End up being 5-0 to Blackburn. Wycombe look really out of the depth. Shout out to Adam Armstrong getting a hat-trick in game week 2. So that's another point for me. 3 points out of 3 correct results out of 4 games. I think that's very good, and I've been very unlucky, 1 goal out on a couple of correct scores as well, but I'll take that for the first 4 games. So let's move on to the next 4 games of the Championship game week 2 review. Let's start at Kenilworth Road. It was 1-1 until the 87th minute, and when Jeff Stone said there's been a late goal at Kenilworth Road, I thought I was on for 2 points, but it was for Luton. Jordan Clark with the 87th minute winner. And what a start for Nathan Jones and Luton. Barnsley away, Derby at home, 6 points. Absolutely brilliant start for Luton Town. So that's no points for me. Middlesbrough v Bournemouth, Martin Middlesbrough. In this game, I thought it would be a tight game. 2-2 I predicted. It ended up being 1-1, so I get a point for that. Marcus Brown with his first goal for Borough. Just shout out Bettinelli with it. If you've seen his save over the weekend from David Brooks out the top corner, it was absolutely tremendous. Middlesbrough, Watford away, Bournemouth at home, a really hard start for Middlesbrough, and hopefully they'll kick on from now after getting the first point. Let's move on to Carrow Road, Norwich v Preston. I thought this would be quite routine. Norwich at home. Preston obviously got beat at home by Swansea last week. Didn't turn out that way at all. Preston 2-1 up till late, and apparently they were better the team for about 75 minutes of the game. Norwich actually nearly nicked it at the end. Would have been very harsh on Preston. But yeah, it ended up finishing 2-2. I predicted a 3-1 win for Norwich. That's no point for me, but Preston get their first point on the board. And I don't think many teams will go to Carrow Road and score 2, so well done to Preston. And like I said, their first point on the board of the Championship season. And last but not least, we move on to my favourite team, Reading. I finally backed for you, Reading. I said 2-1. You won 2-0. One goal off a correct score again. I'm getting there. I'm getting close. But yeah, Barnsley ended the game with 9 men. Barnsley started the season defeat at home without a goal and defeat away without a goal. Like I said, they ended up with 9 men. It's been a disastrous start for Barnsley. But what about Reading? 2-0 away at Derby, 2-0 at home at Barnsley. Back-to-back 2-0 wins in the Championship, and they found themselves 2 wins out of 2, and it's a brilliant start. Yaku Matey's come back from fitness for Reading and scored the first goal. Yaku Matey and Lucas Shaw front could cause teams in the Championships a lot of problems. But yeah, 2-0 Reading and a point for me. And now we move on to the final 4 games of the Championship game week 2. Let's start off at Hillsborough, Sheffield Wednesday against relegated Watford. 0-0. I backed a 2-1 win for Watford. Sounded like there was not many chances in the game. Just a little shout out for Sheffield Wednesday and Gary Monk. Cardiff away, Watford at home. 4 points and no goals conceded. I think it's a great start. Sheffield Wednesday needed to get off to a good start, and I think 4 points, no goals conceded from their first 2 games, it'll give them great confidence that they can get out of the 12-point deduction. Like I said, already 4 points off it. But 0-0, no points for me. But yeah, just wanted to shout out great start for Sheffield Wednesday. Let's move on to another 0-0, Swansea v Birmingham. Both not conceded a goal this season. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but yeah, that's what Karanka will bring to Birmingham City's solidness. Will be very, very hard to beat. Brentford at home, Swansea away. 4 points, no goals conceded. I think it's a great start for Birmingham City. I said 1-0 to Swansea. Hoping Swansea later on could have got a winner, but they didn't. But both teams 4 points, no goals conceded. Just a little shout out on the Championship. The Premier League this season, this game week had the most goals scored ever in a 10-week weekend game season. It seems to be the other way with the Championship. It's so tight without the fans. It's a tight league anyway, but there's not a lot of goals about, so I'm thinking 1 goal either way is going to win it for teams. But yeah, 0-0 at the Liberty Stadium. Let's move on to Rotherham v Millwall. Another tight game. I said this would be a tight game. I said 1-1. Millwall end up getting the win 1-0. Jed Wallace with the winner. Millwall, another team who haven't conceded a goal this season. Stoke at home was 0-0 and then 1-0. 4 points, no goals conceded. Great start for Millwall and Gary Rowett. And last but not least, we move on to the Bet365 Stadium. They played on Sunday, Stoke v Bristol City. I backed a 2-0 Stoke win. It was actually 2-0 to Bristol City. Bristol City 2 wins out of 2. Cracking start for Bristol City. I go to Stoke and win 2-0, always a good result. Little fact there, Stoke didn't have a shot on target, so that might be a bit worrying for Stoke fans. But yeah, fair play to Bristol City. 6 points, 2 wins out of 2, and they'll look to kick on next week. But yeah, that's it for my review. I got 5 results out of 12. I think that's pretty decent, nearly 50%. And I was 1 goal off 4 games of getting a correct score. So I'm getting better. So I'll put that score down 5 points I got this week. And now I'm going to move on to my predictions for game week 3 this weekend. So now let's move on to my predictions for game week 3 of the Championship weekend. Yeah, we're going to start with the Friday night game as always, Friday night on Sky, and we're starting with 2 teams who've had a bad start. Huddersfield and Forest both yet to get a point on the table. Huddersfield yet to score, and I'm going to back them not to score again, but I'm going to back them to get their first point. 0-0, not a great watch for the spectators in my opinion. Now we move on to the Saturday half-12 kick-off game on Sky, Watford v Luton. Both had good starts, both unbeaten at the start of the season. Great start, especially for Luton, 2 wins out of 2, and I think Nathan Jones' side will go into this full of confidence. I think Luton will see this as a free hit. Everyone will expect Watford to win, so Luton will be full of confidence. I'm going to back a Watford win, but I do think it'll be tight, no walkover. I'm going to back a tight 2-1 win to Watford. Now we move on to the first of the 3 o'clockers, and we have Wycombe Wanderers who've started the season very poorly. 6 goals conceded, yet to score a goal. They play Swansea at home who've yet to concede a goal. Wycombe yet to score and Swansea not yet to concede. I don't see anything but a Swansea win. Sorry Wycombe fans, I just don't think this is the level that you're going to succeed at. I think it's a great achievement that you got promoted, but yeah, I see this as a routine win. 2-0 to Swansea, could even be more, but I'm going to say 2-0 to the Swans. Now we move on to the next 3 o'clocker. We have Barnsley against Coventry. Barnsley started the season 2 defeats, yet to score a goal. I fancy Barnsley to get the first point. Coventry though, look like I tipped Coventry to go down, but I watched them on Friday night. I thought they looked decent. They had good fighting spirit. Just got beat in the first game at Bristol City, and then big QPR last week. I think if Coventry keep playing the way they are, they definitely have a chance of survival. They look like they're hard to beat, and I'm going to get them not to get beat, but Barnsley to get their first point. 2-2, good game at Oakwell. So the next of the 3 o'clockers that I'm previewing takes us to St Andrews, and Aitor Karanka's had a great start as Birmingham manager. Just a little note, in the 4 games these teams have played in the Championship this season, there's only been 3 goals in 4 games. I can't see goals flowing at St Andrews, put it one way. Another tight game with Karanka. They look quality, they look solid defensively. I'm going to back them to keep a clean sheet again and get a 1-0 narrow win at St Andrews. And next up we move on to the Cardiff City Stadium. Cardiff got back on track with a 2-0 away win at Nottingham Forest. and we've already talked about Reading, both back-to-back 2-0 wins, yet to concede a goal, 6 points already in the Championship. I know I said I don't like backing against Reading because they always prove me wrong, but I'm going to back a Cardiff win, home win. They got beaten their first home game by Sheffield Wednesday. They hardly ever lose 2 back-to-back at home. I think it'll be tight though. I'm going to back Cardiff to win by 1 goal. Cardiff 2, Reading 1 at the Cardiff City Stadium. And now we move on to one of the slow starters, Derby, yet to get a point on the board against Reading at home and Luton away. I don't think Derby fans will have seen that coming at the start of the season, no point. They're back at home against Blackburn, who've just thumped Wycombe 5-0. For me, this is the tightest game of the weekend, and I'm going to keep it as a 1-1 draw. Derby to get their first point on the board. So next to the 3 o'clockers, we have Millwall and Brentford at the Den. This is the game result I'm most intrigued to see how it works out. I think if Brentford want to gain promotion, it's games like this that they have to go and show that they've got the promotion credentials. Always hard to go get a result at Millwall. Millwall have started the season very well, haven't conceded a goal, 4 points, undefeated. I'm going to back Brentford to show their mettle and show that they're over last season and they're ready for another promotion push. 2-1 Brentford. So the penultimate game of the 3 o'clockers on Saturday in the Championship takes us to Deepdale. Preston got a good point away at Norwich last week. Stoke City got beat at home by Bristol City. Stoke are yet to score a goal in the Championship. That'll be worrying for Michael O'Neill. This is a really tight game. It's the Championship. I know I say all the time tight games. I've changed my mind 3 times. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Stoke City win to get the first goal and first 3 points on the board. And the last game of the 3 o'clockers takes us to Loftus Road. Queen's Park Rangers v Martine Middlesbrough. I think with Middlesbrough, with Warnock in charge, we're never going to get smashed and we're never really going to be out of the game. In this game, QPR have had a great home win against Nottingham Forest, but then a disappointing away defeat to Coventry City. Middlesbrough started really hard, Watford away and then Bournemouth at home. I fancy Middlesbrough to get something. But I'm going to get them to get a point. I backed it last week 2-2 and I'm going to back it again this week. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Middlesbrough 2, all square. And now we move on to Sunday, Ashton Gate, 1 o'clock kick-off between Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday. Both had very good starts to the season. Bristol City, 2 wins out of 2. I'm going to back them to get 3 wins out of 3. Naki Wells and Andreas Varman both can score goals for fun in the Championship and both scored in the win at Stoke City last week. I'm going to back Wells to score again, 2-1 Bristol City, 3 wins out of 3 at Ashton Gate. And last but not least, we have Bournemouth v Norwich, Sunday, 4 o'clock kick-off. I think this is definitely the game of the Championship weekend. I think whoever gets 3 points, if one of them gets 3 points, it gives a real confidence boost throughout the squad and throughout the club. Because I think these two will fancy themselves for promotion this year. I'm going to back Norwich. I think Norwich in the Championship, I'm always going to back Norwich to get promoted from the Championship. I'm going to back them to lay down a promotion marker and I'm going to back them to win 2-1. Pookie to score again. So that's it for this episode of the Lewis Pickering Football Show. I've previewed Game Week 3 and I've also reviewed Game Week 2, how I think the games went, what teams I think are doing well. If you've liked the video, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. I'm loving doing this at the moment. It's not about subscribers and likes for me. It does help my channel, but it's time consuming and it gives me something to look forward to. Please, fans, keep commenting in the comments below. I look forward to comments. I'll reply to every comment. I love talking about football and like I said, I will reply to every comment. This has been the Lewis Pickering Football Show. I'll catch you on the next time. Bye.